going to talk today about instructor presence and sense of community in an online classroom. Instructors offer a consistent human connection to a student's online learning experience. Maintaining a social presence over the duration of a course builds a sense of community among a group of learners in the online environment. Instructor presence is the most important best practice for improving instructional effectiveness and creating a sense of community in an online course. Student satisfaction and performance is contingent upon the participation of the instructor. Students want to interact with their instructor throughout the duration of their online course. Teachers are the binding element that not only create the class, but also help to sustain the learning community. 1 week prior to the beginning of the course, I send a welcome letter to my students via email. I also post a welcome on the online course site in an announcements section, as well as in the introduction forum. This welcome helps students sense my presence as the instructor from the very beginning of the course. I create an introductions forum where all students introduce themselves, myself the instructor included. In my introduction, I include an image of myself along with general personal and professional information. After students post their introduction, I send back a personal response to each student, individually welcoming them to the class. Additionally, I post a personalized video introduction so that the students can visualize and personalize who I am. At the beginning of the course, I call every student I have a telephone number for to get to know them and find out what they would like to get out of the class. I also try to find out how they learn best. Additionally, I remind them of the first week's assignments. At the end of the first week, I will call all of the students who were absent that week. I ask if they are okay and if there's anything I can do to support them in the class. I remind them of their missing work and encourage them to get it turned in. I use email in the following ways: class emails, group emails, individual emails, and video emails. For important announcements, I send a class email. I use group emails to provide students ideas, guidance, or feedback. I use individual emails to answer questions or provide feedback on assignments. I also send a personal email to each student to welcome them to the class. Video emails are sometimes more effective when used with students that you're worried about, and also for students who are doing a great job. Also, video emails can convey information that is not appropriate to say in a text or an email. I text message my students using remind.com and have gotten favorable responses from my students. Students who would typically never respond by email respond immediately to a text message. I also continually monitor student progress. I praise students for a job well done, encourage students who are lagging behind in their coursework or who need to improve their grades, and also follow up with students for particular situations that they are encountering. I have a link on the course website where students can ask course-related questions, comments, or concerns about which all students could benefit. However, I emphasize that matters that are private in nature should be addressed via private email, Skype, or a phone call. Besides a welcome announcement at the beginning of the course, I post weekly announcements to remind students of the objectives and assignments for the week. Announcements are a good way to post instructions for assignments besides their listing in the syllabus, and to remind students of upcoming assignment due dates. Besides weekly posted announcements, I also use videos to personalize announcements throughout the course session. When addressing the students on the discussion board, or via email, text, phone call, or Skype, I always use their names. I have a very active presence on the discussion board. I post discussion questions each week that students have to respond to, as well as respond to a peer's post. I'm involved in the discussions and engaged in the conversations that students have. I comment on students' posts and guide them in their learning. I also summarize the points or themes that students have presented in their postings. Students often have difficulty integrating the knowledge and drawing conclusions from the information that they have learned. I help them make connections between concepts and topics that we discuss. I also ask questions, post relevant articles, videos, or other learning material related to the discussion question. I regularly post videos such as YouTube or TED Talks in the weekly course shell, expanding upon concepts. I also post motivational videos at the beginning and at the end of the session about how to get off to a good start and why it pays to work hard. This opens students' minds to the world and gets them thinking outside of the box. Additionally, I host live web-based sessions with students to have synchronous meetings. Using real-time teaching technology, I can share my screen to deliver presentations and have interactive polling for question and answer sessions. Finally, at the end of the course, I post a final class announcement. In this message, I congratulate the students for their hard work in the course, acknowledge how much they've learned, and wish them the best of luck in their future classes and careers.